Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? I'm homesick. I don't feel good. Got some tea. Um, Done a few videos about the fighter and making the fighter tougher recently. And talked about. I'm gonna take a hit of this, huh? Mmm, that's good. Making the fighter a little bit tougher, and one thing was making the fighter a Cuisinart by using the limitations of the Flame Princess ruling, where only the fighter goes up an attack bonus. The other one was from Delving Deeper, an old OD&D rule where the fighter gets a number of attacks equal to his level against people that are normal men. However, there were a few other methods brought to my attention. I mean, I've known about them, but these are some other methods. So I'll go through them really fast because there's a whole bunch of them, and there's plenty of arguments about this on the internet. I don't want to get in arguments, but there's some alternate roles, some alternate ideas to how to make them a little bit tougher, and some of these are quite old. Um, One of them right off the bat is the idea that fighters, and I think it's an old Dave Arneson rule. That's that everything I research and talk to people. This all comes up. Is that the idea that like the fighter was able to if he hit somebody and kill them, then he could immediately attack somebody adjacent to them and apply either the damage to his old roll to, or for the most part just attack the next person. So it's kind of like a cleave sort of situation. And probably one of the more common versions of this ability for fighters would be that if they're able to do that for the number of times equal to their level. So if you're a 7th level fighter and you kill the first orc, well, you can roll again, and if you hit the next orc and kill him, you can keep rolling until either you miss or do enough damage to another guy that you don't kill him, or you've done it 7 times, then you're done. So it's chop to your drop, I believe is the name of that kind of ruling. And the idea that maybe other classes can do that, but they can only do it like half their level. So if you're for 4th level thieves, you can do it twice. That sort of idea. Let's see, what are some other great ideas? There's a whole bunch of mook rules out there. The guys that are pretty much the lower level troops. And when you're a higher level fighter, like what do? Do you really make the guy roll all these combat rolls against tons of orcs or normal men or whatever? So a few ideas out there. One was the idea that you roll a number of damage dice equal to your level and you just apply it to your enemies. Don't even make it to hit roll, and just see how many guys you kill that way. And we're talking about like higher level fighters doing this. Maybe you're 6th level, 8th level, whatever. I guess one of the more common rules that Gary Gygax himself was supposed to have used is the idea that if you're a fighter and you're involved in a battle with a bunch of like normal men, orcs, goblins, whatever the heck it is, you roll a die equal to your level. So if you're an 8th level fighter, you roll a d8. That's how many goblins you killed this round. That sort of thing. That's another option out there. There's also an interesting thing from Empire of the Petal Throne, which is something I've never made eyeball marks on. It's an old TSR product. I've heard a couple different versions of this. The first one was that the idea that the fighter could make, let's see, where the heck is this? A 4th level fighter could do 2 dice of damage. Instead of one damage die for his weapon, just apply that to whatever enemies were there. 8th level fighter could do 3 damage dice, and 12th level fighter could do 4. There's another version of that which actually involves a chart. Maybe I'll put a link to the chart in the whole video. I got a bunch of notes because there's a lot of stuff here. Where the heck is this chart? Let's see. There it is. In this version, you've got opponents listed at 1 hit die, then 1+1, then 2 to 3 hit dice, 4 to 5 hit dice, 6 to 7, 8 to 9, 10 to 11, and 12 plus. And the idea that 4th level you can make you put 2 damage dice towards anybody that's just 1 hit dice. At 5th level you can also do that to people that are 1+1. 6th level you can do that to people that are 2 and 3, etc. It's a little diagonal thing. But then at 6th level you can do 3 damage dice to people that are 1 hit die, like 1 hit die opponents. By the time you're 8th level you can do 4 damage dice, and at 10th level you can do 5 damage dice to them. And then it scales up. So you can do, if you're a 10th level fighter, you can, if you're fighting opponents that are 4th to 5th, 4 to 5 hit dice, you can only do 3 damage dice against them. You make your to hit roll, you do that much. See how many of these guys you knock out, or how much damage you actually do. There was a couple other rules, lots of different versions of this whole rule. Maybe if you kill an opponent, you can make another attack. Really common stuff. So this stuff has been around a lot longer than 3rd edition. So just, am I going to make any judgment call on this or do any running numbers? No. It's just there's other ways to skin the cat, so to speak, if you want to make your fighters a little tougher. And especially, when you get to the point where you're playing like a classic D&D game, something like basic OD&D, retro clone that's very simple. You don't want a hell of a lot of rules. Okay, well, how do I just kind of not have a boring combat, or let's make this guy more like what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a little bit more like Conan or Batman or whatever you want to call him, and he's just knocking out the mooks left and right. How do we make him do that? So there's some ideas. Have at it. Go kill some orcs.